Hi, this is William from Great Affordable Watches, and today I'm gonna go through my top 5 watches under $1,000. So I've done a couple of similar videos before, so I thought I'd do another top 5 video, and this time with, in my opinion, the top 5 best watches under $1,000. And of course, as usual, there are many great watches in this price range, and these watches are just the one I have found special or have really liked when I've tried it on, had it, or something similar. Okay, let's start with the first one, and I've talked a lot about this watch, and it's the Steinhart Ocean 500 Premium. I think it's just an overall great watch, and spec wise it's extremely good for the money. It's 42 millimeters in diameter, 13 millimeters in thickness. It weighs without the bracelet only 78 grams because of the grade 5 titanium case that is satined, so it's very scratch resistant, while it keeps the weight down because titanium is very light, a very light metal. We got dome sapphire crystal with double anti-reflective coating on the inside, and I think overall the dome sapphire crystal on this watch looks extremely good, and it's probably one of the better looking crystals I've actually seen, and I think that it just adds to the overall feeling and the overall look of the watch. And of course we got an engraved ceramic bezel, which also looks very clean and very good. And as the name says, it's waterproof to 500 meters. It's very nice to see that they have been able to maintain that high water resistance, meanwhile having a see-through case back, which is also in sapphire crystal. And yes, some people may say that the finishing on the case is not perfect, and I can agree with that. And some titanium parts, some of the metals doesn't really match, and I have talked about that in my review, but honestly I don't think that takes away from the watch, because overall it's such a great value for your money. And because of the price, you know, it's obvious that there are some drawbacks to the watch. The second watch on the list is it's a watch I've talked about before as well, and it's the Frederique Slimline. And why I think this is of course a dress watch, and why I think it's one of the best dress watches for the money is because even at the retail price of $28,000, it's a very good value. And when they released this watch with the in-house FC 700 movement, automatic movement, it was praised because a in-house Swiss-made movement is not really seen in a watch for that kind of money. Now when they have gone from the full retail price down to around $1,000 in the US, in Europe it may be a lot more expensive, but in the US you can get it for around $1,000. I think it's a fantastic bargain, and the movement especially is one of the most beautiful movements I've seen. And I think overall the movement, the case, the polished case is very well made, and it's 42 millimeters, so it's a bit big, but the lug to lug length is not that long, so it wears a bit smaller. And I think that the date wheel is really balancing the dial, so I think overall it's very simple, maybe a bit boring, but a very simple and clean dress watch with an excellent in-house movement. Okay, the third watch is the Oris Aquis, and the Oris Aquis is by many a luxury watch for a affordable price, and I do agree with that. I was at my local AD and tried it on, and it feels absolutely fantastic. Oris is an independent watchmaker, so it's great to see that they are making affordable watches that are this well made. And the highlight is the case and the design of this watch, and the quality overall. My gripe with this watch is probably it's the base the base SW200 movement, Solita movement, and it's a bit boring movement. It looks a bit dull, and you can compare it to the standard grade ETA 2824 movement, which is it's a fantastic movement for the price, but compared to the other watch on this list, the movement is a bit lacking in this watch. But of course, you got 30 meters, you got 300 meter water resistance, screw down crown, 43mm case, so it's a pretty decent sized watch. And overall, I think it's a fantastic watch for the money. Now the fourth watch on the list, and that's the Sinn 556. I think overall Sinn makes some of the best affordable watches under $1,000, and it's honestly one of my favorite brands actually. I think they make top quality German made watches, probably all in-house as well, and the finishing and the technology that they are using in the watches is fantastic. Now the 556 doesn't have all the Sinn technology incorporated in the watch, but still have a fantastic finish and build quality overall. And you got an ETA 2824-2 top grade movement, so you get a high quality 2824, and Sinn says that all their watches use top grade movements, so you know you're getting a good movement. And the case is stainless steel and it's satinized, so it's a bit more scratch resistant than regular stainless steel. And I think the size of the watch is 38.5mm, so it's a very well sized watch and it's a great size in my opinion. And the thickness is only 11mm, so it's a very thin watch as well. And you got sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating on both sides, sapphire on the front and the back. And I think you can wear this watch as a tool watch, a dress watch almost, and almost as a diver because of the 200 meter water resistance. So this is a really tool watch, but it looks a lot like a dress watch and a dressier watch. And the last watch is also a Sinn, and it's the Sinn 104. This is probably one of my favorite watches overall, and I must say it's a bit more expensive than $1,000. It goes for around $1,090, so it's a bit more expensive. But I thought it's such a great watch that I had to include it in this list. And as the 556, it is a top quality watch with extremely good finishing and design. And you got a top grade SW220-1 grade top grade movement. So I think you get an overall excellent watch with sapphire crystal and anti-reflective coating on both sides and sapphire on the front and back. 41mm case diameter, thickness of 11.5, screw down crown as on the 556, and you get 200 meter water resistance on this one as well. So overall the specs on this watch is fantastic, and it is a pilot watch, but you can use it as on this 556, you can use it as a diver because of the water resistance, and I really trust Sinn's water resistance as well. Even though the specs are fantastic, I think the highlight is honestly the design on this watch. I think it's a pure classic watch with a fantastic design that really speaks to me, because I like vintage looking watches, and this is really a timeless vintage design, done in a more modern sense. So I think the design is probably one of my favorite designs on any watch actually. So to find all this in a watch under $1,000 is also spectacular. And I think all the watches on this list are extremely good, and I think the Steinhart Ocean 500 is probably the cheapest one, and so you can come to expect some flaws on that watch, but the other watches doesn't really have any major flaws, so they are all fantastic. And of course there are other watches that are extremely good as well in this price range, but this is just my opinion. So I hope you guys like this short top 5 list. Please tell me your top 5 watches under $1,000 down in the comments, and please like and subscribe if you like this video, and I hope I see you in the next one.